Hello, welcome. We're gonna do a reading about whether you're going to make it big or not. Um, I wanted to do this reading. I've kind of wanted to see more of it in general for a while now because the collective has been talking about this come up for a certain, I don't know, like a certain amount of people, but in general, like everyone that is, diligent on elevating, ascending, and whatever, doing their light work or yada yada has been progressing in life, but it's just like the messages that have been coming through are very much like you're gonna do it, make it, create it, or live your dream. Now, for some people that are now still in clouds of some sort, right, either lacking clarity or not knowing where their life is going or not knowing who they are particularly or what their dreams really are or how they're going to manifest, it's hard to figure out or pinpoint like what does that exactly mean because every reader is making it out to be like this big fucking blow up or glow up, but it's gonna be different for everyone, right? So I haven't seen too many specific readings. I've seen maybe one, I think, of like if you're gonna be famous or make it big or not. Um, but I haven't really seen a pickup pile that got like concisely to the point about it. So this one might be short. Because also we're doing only three piles, using also this deck. So that's gonna be interesting, in my opinion. And we're just gonna leave it as that. Like, if you've been on the road of like ascension, elevation, like you're gonna create something or your life's about to change and it's really been dragging on. Maybe you've already made it to a certain point, but it doesn't look like what you thought it was gonna look, right? And it's like, am I gonna make it there? Am I on the way? Is it not for me? What the fuck is happening, right? Where do I land in the collective of everyone ascending is basically kind of like the big shebang question here. We're gonna go into it. Are you going to make it big? Are you not gonna make it big? Are you gonna be like your own leader in your collective type of big? Is it gonna be global? I don't fucking know. If you need that answer, this is the reading for the answer. I already got the point of like put three cards down. I'm like, seriously? It's like, yes. It's really weird because it started fucking pouring as soon as I set up to hit record. As soon as I did that. So I don't freaking know. If you're going through a bunch of release or you've been having troubles before actual release, like you're about to go through a purge or something, have an emotional, little moment thing. That's the call out to you. I don't know. I don't know. I just read cards. You divinate this for yourself and how it applies specifically, right? So three piles. I'm gonna give you like some time to pick it covered. Obviously, you should pause this point instead of like me giving you time because I'm gonna talk over it anyway. So we're gonna just start flipping. So pile that's a really cool card. I love it. I love it. I love it. The Leo in me is also like, oh my God, it has a lion. I love it. I love the cards. Seriously? Why, what's up? What's up? That was super weird. That was super weird. It just closed down to the folder where the fucking app is. So the app just kaputted out of nowhere. It just, it just fucking, it just buckled. It just went kaput. That was weird. An archangel is here with us. Auroriel, I feel like. I would assume, considering that's the only Archangel reading I recently did that had technical stuff happening. And I don't really usually have technical stuff like that happen. Like, if it's unexpected, if it's out of my control. and it just occurs. And she kind of really fucks with technology. I ain't gonna lie. She fucks with technology really easy. So I'm guessing we're gonna have some higher dimensional beings help out with this. So that's really cool. I love these cards. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of like vibing with it. So yeah, pick whichever one resonates for you. I'm excited. Um, we'll see. We'll see how and where this goes. And yeah. Hello, pile number one. So honestly, the only thing that's coming through is like, yeah, you are going to be very well known or noticeable when whatever level you're gonna achieve. But I feel like if there was a pile for most likely to make it global if you're gonna go that way or not, because you're always in control of your own path and destiny. It doesn't matter what the fuck a tarot reading is gonna say. Like it, the only time a tarot reading is unavoidably gonna be true is if it's time fated destiny type of stuff that is just natural for your soul to fall in. It's just a part of like human creation or God given, I guess, is another way of saying it. It's an inseparable aspect of source experiencing itself to that point, to that pinnacle, to that experience. And there's no avoiding it. It doesn't matter what the fuck you're gonna do, it does not change. So in this case, if you've not made it there yet, but you're along the way, then and that's your aim, and you're doing everything and you've done everything you could since you were born, then this is kind of hitting at like, yes, eventually you will be known. Just keep at it and just keep exploring yourself, not looking for the fame behind it. If you're a person that's born with specific star alignments or astrology, you have a particular tendency to be noticed and kind of like the talk of the town, the it factor, the popular person, the well-known person, one that is aspired after or is socially like very well known. And it doesn't matter if you're an introvert or extrovert, you're the glue between people. You're the one that makes experiences and moments special. You're the one that brings something to the table that other people cannot bring. You shine in a room, very much so. You're very noticeable. You're always heard, even if you're not talking to that person. They'll hear you from the other part of the fucking building in a party and be like, I need to go check out who the hell that is. So you are indefinitely the pile that's going to I want to say be noticed or popular or have fame either on the global stage or in your community. There's no avoiding that. Even if you tried and freaking like to hide for the entirety of your life, you couldn't manage it. Something would be um I don't want to say like you're incapable of that, but that's kind of how it's coming across. Like the circumstance is incapable to provide that to you. You would feel empty, lackluster, in this mid-range where nothing is fulfilling and nothing makes sense. If you didn't have like the sunshine from you, you would lack purpose, like a feeling of um, understanding of yourself and others would diminish, not just for you, but for others too. So Leo in general, sun sign, yeah, or represented with sun as well as quite often. It illuminates everything. It shines on shadows and shines on light. It shines on everything, right? And it provides lighting, but also life to it, as well as gives it definition and purpose and meaning. Like this is the outline of you. This is the contours, right? This is where you fall in that room, in that grand scheme of things. So, and I feel like very animated. I know I'm quite a animated and outspoken person in general, but I feel with this pile, it's like very much like there's a bravado in a way, in a positive way, not like gun ho, let's go, but more so like an esteem, like a strong posture, of I know my worth, I know who I am, I make an impact, I see the finer details that other individuals do not. There's like a different level of experience, but also comprehension. You might have felt like you've been a bit of a, how do you call it? Like it's like being an it factor within dynamics, but then also being like a little bit excluded in the inclusivity of you. Like you feel like you're the one in the group, if that makes sense. Um, So you might have had like weird experiences that were very much unique or particular in either social isolation or depression or whatever, even when you were very social or very well known and you had a lot of friends and stuff like that. Like you've really realized what it means to connect with people and not to connect with people, what it means to be popular or well known or seen, and how that carries over within your experience as well, that it's not like all that it's put up to be or meant, like said to be, that there's more to it that really can leave you feeling lackluster or purposeless if you don't really embody it the right way or you're not meant to be that type of person. But if you are meant to be that type of person, there's unique qualities and lessons that only really like people that are born with this that can really understand it. And it's not a judgment or whatever. It's like everyone has their own position and role. And it's not better or worse. It's just like where do you find home or where you are you comfortable? And I feel like you've had this journey of like it looked and it seemed like you can find comfort in your throne and affluency and success and a bunch of other shit everywhere or wherever you went, but you kind of didn't. It's kind of like you kept going to higher heights and you kept finding yourself in this unique position of being noticed, of being respected, of being heard, of being listened to, of being seen as a leader, as a person that can teach and guide and knows their shit, basically. I also feel like you have a very much pure heart. There's an innocence that goes behind it, but you've trained yourself to also have like a strong outer like a strong front, I want to say. I don't think it's an outer shell except for maybe a few of you that have went through really trying and difficult times and maybe have been like in the streets or homeless or something. Like you went through like drugs or whatever, right? But most of you, it's like you know to hold yourself like strong so your pure and innocent heart can feel safe enough to be what it is so you can carry this frequency and energy forward and really keep shining. So, always going to be like a leader in the community, always going to be the leader in the like in any group. I feel like even if you don't do a lot and you're not really managing anything, it's kind of like King of the Jungle vibes. You can be laying on the side in the shade, not doing shit, but your presence is the thing that's like carrying the experience, basically. Your presence is enough to have like a hold on the vibe and how everything flows. My cameras are flipping, having an issue, bro. Ah, I don't know. That's a bit of a sign for me. I'm gonna check in a bit. I swear. What the fuck? This reading is so weird because the weather went weird and it kind of went in and out with a huge freaking rainfall, and then my cameras are messing up, and that usually does not happen, not like this. And I'm tired of it. But I don't know, maybe there's Mercury retrograde occurring. 1414 just hit, so I'm gonna take it as some of y'all don't like the spotlight or you don't like being seen. Maybe you have a deeper association vibe with it, honestly, 'cause that one felt a bit weird. The first one was fair enough, like I clicked into an angel and I heard that. But this one felt like stop looking at me and it's like why are you getting a reading then about this? Not in a judgmental or whatever way, but it's like I think that's just an energy slash soul thing. Some of y'all don't like being seen. Or you would like to kind of avoid some of the spotlight at some points. You would like to shift it and change it. You're not really quite comfortable with it currently. You're not comfortable with yourself calling the shots or being in this vibe and energy. Um, and the thing is, like, you do a service this way in many different ways, whatever suits you, whether it's bringing life into circumstances and situations, whether it is inspiring people, whether it is maybe being a protective and guiding light, maybe it's being the initiative, right? Maybe it's actually opening up conversation to any and every choice that gets made instead of like people following this like weird flow where no one's really happy. Maybe it's making people that aren't seen sometimes, right? And vice versa. Having some people not seen is also a part of that gift because you can't have everyone have a piece of that pie if they themselves have their own problems and issues underlying or current like, high end on the consciousness scale. Like it's quite a nuanced balance of vibe and in a different type of position than you could first assume to be. Like it's not as straightforward as what I want to say. It's not as simplistically like this or that or whatever. It's quite complicated, and it's also you. It's uniquely you. It's your power and your identity and who you are. It's not necessarily that it's not like you were gifted this just to be born with it and that's your role like, and then that's it like like being born a king queen or whatever ruler of some sort. It's more like because you are this type of vibe and energy and this is how you feel around to people or whatever in an atmosphere in an environment, that's why you have this um, type of pull to specific roles or experiences or attention or whatever it is. You can't really change it or escape it anyway if you try to, but it is like if you're not confident with it, besides having like some type of brainwashing ideas with it might be a case of like, hey, what are you not admitting about yourself to yourself, right? Like, because if you want to be big, then why does it matter? If you don't want to be big, but you are going to be big either way, why does that matter? Why is it such a big issue? If you were born for it. And I feel like some of you tensed up at that question. Cause the thing is, like, either way, you're gonna understand the deeper value of it, not necessarily the surface level of like, yeah, I'm gonna get famous and gonna get a bunch of money and cool things, and I ain't gonna ever need to worry about anything. And you're gonna see my face in the tabloids and ads and other things, and I'm gonna be in company meetings and big things. Like, I feel like until you get there, life's leading you to an understanding that that doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. If you could be happy being like, a self-sustained farmer, then you would be that. If you would be happy as a, what do you call it? Adrenaline junkie, then you would be that. If you would be happy being a follower, an assistant to a leadership, leadership position person, um, that's what you would do, but you aren't that person. You are clearly the person that draws that in, and you're the one that goes forward with that wisdom. Like there's a lot of wise, conscious energy coming through with this. There's also carrying light codes if you're like into the woo-woo and spiritual stuff. There's also crystalline, like fire elements going on here. Um, Something about dignity and integrity and core values of like honest truth and unconditional like love understanding or an understanding of purity and innocence to another level, but also understanding the complexity of life and going with that too when you're shining, when you're actually showing up, when you're calling the shots. You might be very intimidating, but you're very complex and very soft as well. So it's kind of like how are you gonna come to terms with who you are this lifetime so you can be that big shot? Because I feel like spirit and the world can wait for as long as as you need them to, but eventually you're gonna need to come up to the stage. So how are you still limiting yourself or keeping yourself back? Are you just thinking about the profit and the money and being superficial about it? Are you worrying about your core value and integrity? Are you putting yourself down to be this or that? Do you still have trauma bonding and programming and unhealthy people that use you around you? Do you still go to shitty jobs you don't want and take interviews on that aspect instead of going to jobs that are gonna be way better for you, even though you don't have maybe qualifications or other things like that. Um, do you self-sabotage and rob yourself of options and possibilities? What deck are we doing and using? I wanted to use this deck, but I'm being told like no, it's not this deck. It's the tarot. Okay, it's the tarot then. Oh my lordy lord, I want to sneeze so much. And I know when I start recording there's a bunch of dust balls flying about, but it's not just that. It's not just that. I do prepare my table every time I do recordings. So, yeah, I feel like just some stuff is releasing on an emotional front from this pile. 'Cause you're quite influential, you're quite strong. I feel like you go through a lot of problems without other people seeing you or understanding you for those issues that you have to face and the challenges you grow through. And also you are an individual that despite all of what I've said, you're achieving mastery. So, because 22 is a master number, that's finding your unique balance between whatever aspects you need to unite to ascend to create this new front of stability, of balance, of whatever it is, to find like your own unity and equilibrium within yourself. And I feel like you have a lot of parts that argue with each other at times. If you don't, you might have actually just went past a period where you realize like how much you have things that hold you back and push you forward. And it is like a mastery of like what does it take to get to this point of like purity in leadership. I think that's the biggest point of this pile and making it big. How do you stay fucking human and you make the right choices for yourself so you don't lose yourself, so you actually have the pride, like proper pride, not complete fucked up like pride, proper pride, proper care, humbleness, and you're satisfied with yourself and your life, and you're not out of control or in too much control and oppression of power instead of just sitting in your power like a damn lion and being like, I don't care, I'm sunbathing. I'm good. Can you bring me a drink though? I would appreciate a drink. Like, do your roar here, do your roar there, kind of just have it chill like that. Oh, Jesus. There's some heavy cards and energy coming through. Something about childhood came through with that unhealthy relationships that haven't satisfied you, but also haven't had your back came through with the Two of Cups and oh gosh. Well, that explains why we went on a huge spiel instead of just leaving it at like, yeah, you're gonna make it big, good job, awesome sauce. It really is like you've had a very unfavorable childhood where people took away your power from you and made you feel like you're less than and you're not hot shit at all. Maybe you don't actually have like a quantifiable skill as well, but you have a specific vibe and aura about you, and you have big dreams and you have big aspirations, and you're doing your best and you're a hard worker, even when you don't know what the fuck you're doing or you're not really good at the craft of the job. You also despite having a lot of relationships, friendships, or being popular, you haven't actually had people that have given back to you or looked after you, mostly because of jealousy and envy. Others were just like, oh, they don't need that. Look at them. They're a fucking lion. Analogy for, whatever your strong suit of personality and identity is. And you've kind of had to pick up everything yourself. You've also had some stuff thrown onto your back from other individuals and people. I mostly feel family, but it also can be other people, depending if you've picked up other people and like dusted them off and taught them how to be their own lion in their own life. It's kind of really, really debilitated you. It made you sad. It made you also lack the trust and confidence in knowing or understanding, like, yeah, you can be beautifully known and famous if you really want to, but it's about you finding that within yourself. It's not about you making it into that job or getting that status or being lucky enough like that or even just getting those items and the stuff external from you. It's you seeking that within and then living, just being, just existing, you know? Yet again, the whole like train of analogies with lions is coming through like a lion just is, right? And then just keeps lying and they don't necessarily need to get the role of the fucking lion or get the role of being a prime hunter or something like that, right? No, they are just that and they just be. So I think the n not having a guarantee about this occurring has really slowed down your ambition and drive to make it be what it is, or like to really create and do what you need to do to end up where you need to do and be. I just noticed that the eyes of the ice cube is different. I think that's an ice cube. I don't fucking know. This deck is weird. Lovely weird, but I still don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know why. Change your perspective to see things differently when they're either fast or slow. There's something about you judging yourself and your success at the rate of how your life moves, how fast or quick you get results, how much you work. And that's not right. That's not true. You're putting yourself in a hard-working position of like constantly working hard, but you're not seeing the results or the fruit of it, and you're limiting your own mental capacity in like having a healthy perspective. So you can feel better and move forward casually, like you're meant to be alive and be happy and just carefree and just do what you do and learn that way, grow that way, expand that way. Hard working doesn't always mean results. It does mean you're always hardworking and tired, though. And you don't need to be like that. You're not that type of person. You're not gonna be happy that way. Being like settled and sorted, slow moving, observant, and enjoying your life for what it is, and having those opportunities or those experiences, and also those social connections very much matters to you. Like creating your own group, friend group, family, if it's just even with a partner, whatever it is, maybe your animals, I don't know, but something being like about being like happy in your community. There's things that matter to you more than being successful and go by the things that really do matter to you instead of like trying to show up as this thing because you feel it calling to you. It's calling to you, but you can get there in a healthier way that really does make you shine as who you truly are without needing to show up a certain way or hide yourself because you think you're not going to be it then or you're not going to achieve or you're not gonna be loved and noticed. It's like, no, just be yourself. It'll be easier that way. And it's easier said than done. But yeah, don't get stuck in like living your 3D life and then like being physically like much materialistic, right? And then being slowed down by not being able to express yourself also in your authentic power. If it's gonna upset some people and you're not meaning to upset them, maybe they need to look at the mirror instead of you being the culprit every time, right? you being down in your emotions and down in your dumps because of this, that, or the other, either past experiences, beliefs, or how you've been treated, also isn't for you. You can let that go, but you need to accept yourself and heal and go forward. And I feel like Archangel or Auroriel kind of came through a little bit in that specific thing I mentioned. So I don't know, maybe you want to call on her when you go to sleep and she can help you in dreams or something. Maybe you can call on her support when you're really lacking confidence and ask for a confidence boost or some type of clarity of why you have a confidence issue, like you're lacking there. Because I feel like she really wants to help you see your full potential and give you like some grace and comfort within that. Also, excuse me for a moment. Sorry, I just had some sniffles and I didn't want to sniffle on yeah. Anyway, you're about to start your new beginning. It might be a stepping stone in the right direction for some of you. If you know this for a fact, and you've been getting delay after delay after delay after delay, and you've been mastering something of a craft since you were a kid, a very young kid. And I'm talking like one of those like examples of when a kid finds out they love something at age 6 or something and they keep doing it and they're now like in their 20s and they're a master at it. They're like seen by the world to be a talent, a unrivaled talent, or known within their community or the subject, right, to be a good master of it or a good exerciser of it. Then yeah, you're about to start the actual project, the actual thing, the actual liftoff process. Because if it's like not actually landing it, then it's the onboarding process, which might still take like fucking 2 years or a year or something less for some of you, but you're still about to start that new stage, which is important. For others of you, there's something you're beginning, like a new stage in life, or you're coming out of hermit. You're about to show up more like yourself if your life isn't gonna really change too much externally and you're still gonna do the same stuff over and over again. Maybe you're moving on to creating big change and creating big shifts. Either way, I think you're going to start seeing like how to walk in your own shoes, but also show up as who you are with your shadow being integrated as well. Because there's something about like you being afraid of that, and it doesn't have to be bad. Just because people get uncomfortable or you have like strong opinions or like a controlling presence without being controlling, right? You just have an impact. You can't fucking change that or something like that. Just because you're noticeable, you make the room light up, you're heard, you're interesting. It's not your fucking fault. I don't know who made you regret that or feel ashamed about that, but that's their problem that you made them feel that way. You didn't intend that to them. You didn't like straight out go and like, oh, I'm gonna make you feel like shit. Like, no, you were being yourself and trying to be happy and connect and like maybe influence the environment in a positive way. Worst case scenario, right? But your intentions were still pure-hearted and positive. So don't worry about that. I think you stuffed down some positive stuff is negative in your shadow, and there's gonna be this period where it really shows you like how you're a loved person, beloved person, how you're aspired to be around, how some people are fucking jealous of you and hate your guts because they're being negative about themselves and they're not exploring their positive or negative traits. They are not exploring their talents and gifts and their weaknesses. They're not exploring anything. They're not working on themselves. They're not delving into who they are or their identity. They're just making you the problem, and that's not your problem. So things are gonna get better and you're gonna have more clarity. It kind of feels like it's gonna be well paced for you, so kind of slow moving, but things might happen quickly and fast and I think you're gonna have light bulb moments. If you're in a low, slow period, if this is slow to start, if you still are like, it's not a few weeks away, it's like a couple of months away or something like that, maybe even half a year, right? Take this time for what you can to love yourself and really delve into who you are and why you are, so you're prepared to shine and show up and actually be that sun that illuminates everything around them. Be confident in your isolation before you really come out and reintegrate with being like popular outside as well. The society needs you, and I don't know where the fuck you're going, but you're going into a specific position because you need to like take in the reins, or you need to be an example, and people need to experience you. They need to see it. They need to have their process behind it, positive or negative. That's their shit. That's not your job. Your job is just to show up and be yourself. Just be the presence. So you're gonna be very much noticeable and big and a leader. So congratulations. I feel like this was big though. Just as big as you'll be, but anyway. Thank you for getting this reading or clicking if you're, first time coming around. Thank you. Hi, shout out to you. I'm gonna move on to the next pile. Peace. Have a good day. I hope it goes well for you. Hello, pile number two. So, there's a lot happening that I'm still trying to get with this card because it's like the thing that's coming across is like, yeah, you're gonna be big, but not for the reasons you think you are. Some of y'all are, but it's a very like slow moving process because I think it's about you creating something. Like you're I don't know. Just say it, I guess. Previous pile was about like who they are inherently as their personality being big. Um, you are more so a person that creates and is or a part of something, and that makes you big. That makes you noticeable or affluent is because you have this achievement, this role, this creation, this thing. You bring life to something. You create something global, possibly, or that takes off and becomes global in I don't know, 5 years, and it's like really slow moving and just a startup for 5 years, and you're like, should I just give up and fucking let go? 'Cause I've been trying at this for a while now, spirit and guides and everything, like, and this is a good idea. Like, the world needs this. Why am I not getting success? Why am I not being like supported, you know? Could be a family business you're taking over and you're completely rebranding eventually, but it happens later on in your 30s or your 40s. Could be a new app you create, but you're also kind of later on in your life, and you also have like an affluency behind you from the company you work at or for. Maybe it's actually the family name. Maybe it's someone you meet and it's like a friend that gives you a proper like tour and investment into how to create a business that becomes big and gives you a lot of cash money flow, and you can then start learning how to reinvest it and then like become affluent that way, and you get noticed for your smarts, for your action, for your thoughts, for your genuine general genius ideas of some sort. I don't know, something about that, which obviously you could say like it's still about you being big. It's in general, but it's not your personality or identity per se. I mean, to some, like your creations are your identity, right? But to others, it's like I'm not attached to that. It's just the process, or it's just this is the creation, you know? Like I am the painter, but I'm not the art piece. So in this case, there's something about like the creation that brings this title role affluency. It feels like you go through a lot before you get to this point though. And it could be yeah, I don't know if it still feels big. It feels like being recognized or known, especially career-wise, especially as like a person that made something great. But you learn a lot along the way. You learn like you maybe had to have a lot of education, maybe a lot of hours put into crafting and engineering. You could have had a lot of hours put into studying. Maybe you've spent like more than 30 years of your life um, binging information and learning and studying and watching a bunch of shows and YouTubes and self-education on Google and other things, books, right? Going to master classes and events and other things, collaborating in different types of like possible events or learning aspects, but you needed to spend that time learning about how the craft works, how society works, how your aspect work, like the sphere or the genre or the topic works within the world, and then how business works behind it, at least on a minimum. And then you also had to like take the opportunities to go either socialize or get hired or I don't know, get internships and or volunteering to then eventually have this like backing to create your own thing to really make it big in that sense. And I mean, I don't know, something about the Angelic Collective is really coming through. God-given ideas is also coming through. Like this is supposed to bring life to people. This is supposed to support the new generations coming into the world, into the planet. This is supposed to make the world life easier for most people, if not all people on the globe. This is meant to really inspire people that like life in the world doesn't need to be so hard. It doesn't need to be power driven and egocentrical and like negative and dense and harmful. Like life can be easier and we can make it easier. And not everyone out here is out to get profit. Some people are literally here to improve our standard of living. Some people are here to literally improve how we experience day-to-day life. Because not everyone wants to be an inventor, but obviously this pile is sort of like a pile of inventors or creators of some sort. Like you create systems, you create band I wanted to say bandwidth to keep living or going off of in terms of like life detail. Um, I think that hit with a lot of you. Like you create systems of resources or systems of experience that make it easier for people to live and experience life and just fucking figure themselves out and just live without having to work so much and actually seeing what the deeper meaning behind existing is, which is very commendable, honestly. Like clap, clap, clap. So yeah, you have a lot of support from like other star systems too? Like any collective you can imagine, or overall like the whole pool of energies and beings that want planet Earth to be happier and healthier to live on are on your side. They're helping you. You could be having like intense downloads or dreams with aliens or freaking bunch angel experiences or them guarding you. You could occasionally hear with God. I don't freaking know. Or one of the core speakers of God like Mary, Jesus or Holy Spirit or I only really know the Christian ones. I'm gonna admit that. But maybe you're from a different language where there would be a different core speaker behind that. I think Buddha would be considered one. I don't know. Other beings, I'm not really well known there. I'm just gonna be honest. I have forgotten everything about other religions as of late. So, but if you feel like, something resonates with that type of vibe of them being like your guide and speaker and they give you this connection, then follow that, so be it, as long as it's like connected to unconditional love and divine energy. Um, because sometimes you can get actually pulled aside by certain other energies. I don't know why I needed to say that, but it was like very much stuck until I said it. So I said what I said. Keep your focus real, keep your concentration on the right energy, keep it pure because some energies would really love to have you on their team, and not all of them have as pure of an idea as you do. Not all of them have the right intentions, and you have a very particular idea to make the world a better place, is how it's coming across. So keep going for that. Even if it's like for you by the right means, right? Not by taking from other people on the planet, but by actually enhancing it and making it easier and better to live on. So go by that. Yeah. I don't know, something about the core of the planet just came through. Learn about grounding practices. And I mean, the physical ones is gonna be good enough, but I feel like we're talking about the metaphysical grounding practices. So feeling like waves of light come from the highest of the high, down through all of your chakra systems, down through your whole entire body, out through your feet, out through your bottom chakras, um, and then through this line into the center of the earth. Or you having certain energies that might be like stuck in your head or in your heart, right? Like pushing them down so they reach the planet and Earth in general. So you can feel healthier within your body, but also not clogged up in overthinking, rapid thoughts, a succession of thoughts you can't really like flesh out because it's just like a tornado of them. Maybe feeling scatterbrained. Mostly like I feel like head issues when it comes to the mental space being like cohesive or coherent for you because I think you just get too excited and then it all clogs up here and it gets stuck. But also, there's something with the heart. I don't know if you really want things to work out and succeed in your endeavors or you just feel a lot, you care a lot. You have like a particular caring heart that other people don't really notice because you're so smart, is also coming across. But it's important to give that attention, love it, and let it go. It's important to like give it space, look at it, not run away from it. You know, look at the fear or the thing you're looking like away from and running from, and to let it go through your body and then go out your feet. If you don't feel the process, you can just have a meditation and start sensing yourself like having an easier time breathing in instead of there being like this weird bubble or something or tension is the best way I can describe it. Um, your throat is going to be more clear, more easy. Maybe your nostrils are going to open up, like your nasal cavity and stuff like that. Maybe it's just like your lungs actually feel like they can inflate better, or there's less pressure on your shoulders and on your chest. Even your stomach might let up a little bit because I feel like as you go through that, like your stomach needs to open up to let the energy go through. Um, 'Cause you're very much like focused and you're in the zone and you kind of accidentally fall into stress and you need time to reflect and breathe and not do anything. You need time to zone out and have a walk or draw just to draw and get artistic, write just to write, to be writing, not constantly thinking and creating and having a hold of these ideas. Because you're going to get constipated and you're already a little bit constipated and you're carrying a lot on your shoulders. Some of you are angelics and you need to clear your goddamn wings. You have some gunk there. You gotta wash your wings, is how I'm gonna say it. Some of you, it's actually gonna come through the heart space. Others of you, you can start learning how to like comb and clear your wings and ask also your guides and team to help you with that or teach you about how to do it. Jesus Christ, you guys are really quite something. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy. But yeah, ground into the center of the earth, because some of the information the earth needs to upgrade its like crystals and its grid and to also carry that knowledge and awareness to other people so they can be a bit more smart and intelligent, or conscious. You need to clear out just so you don't feel so stuffed up and so stressed out and in your head, and like you can't understand your feelings, because you will understand your feelings as long as you don't hold on to everything you experience at every moment. Astral travel is going to be easier if you can let go of the wing stuff, but also it'll just feel like the air around you isn't heavy because your wings aren't just full of tension. And whatever you can or need to release it over to like source or God or higher dimensions and realms, like let it recycle up into the sky or the cosmos as well, not just like going down into the planet. Is also like release it up to the sky. Because you need to look after yourself. It's not just about bringing down your ideas. It's about you being clear. Something about you being clear is important. I think so you can't get hijacked by energies that aren't really for the good of everyone, because then you'll not be happy about your thingy. Yeah, you won't be happy about uh, you won't be happy about your creations because it'll be like that's not what I wanted from them. That's not what I wanted them to do. This is not the result I cared for. Like take the long road if you can. Do it right and look after yourself so you still play for the team that you want to instead of being hijacked because you're so in such unease and disease that you are like, I want to get it now no matter what, and then you become deflated and just unhappy. Because that's just a warning. Because I feel like you gotta go through a lot to get to this point. So, whew, okay, tarot. Ah, what the? What's up? You're afraid you're not gonna do it to begin with. Calm down, honey. You're gonna do it. You're gonna achieve it. Everything's okay. Sorry, I just had a pain on my right side. It wasn't that bad, but it was like, "Ugh," and I needed to exclaim because it makes it easier. You will achieve it. You will do it. It doesn't matter how old you will be, but you gotta believe it. You gotta treat yourself right, and you gotta take the time it's gonna take. Because, like, yeah, you're gonna, let's say, be big because of this creation, right? But the point of it is like, you make it, you create it, you feel that way, you have that experience, that process, that journey, and that self-actualization. You come to that identity. You live to that. You live that life. And a life's work is not a day's work or a day's whatever. It's gonna take a while, and you can breathe and you can have your life and experience in the midst of all of it. Play with the people you love, do the stuff you like, go on a vacation every now and again. Don't just slave away, 'cause you're meant for more than that. You're meant for happiness too, for joy and peace and prosperity. And it will make it happen quicker. Counterintuitive to some workaholics out there, but like it's scientifically proven and has been for years, and society doesn't give a shit about it, which is that annoying for a psychologist like me. But the point is, like, we actually succeed more when we incorporate adequate rest or even work less hours, because we can use our full potential and work at a complete focus point instead of like half-assing our work or being lethargic halfway through it and or starting to work at 50% capacity instead of 100 only 2 hours in. Stuff like that. If you don't rest, if you don't take vacations, you are less effective within the work you do. It doesn't mean how high you get on the research or academic side of it, or just workaholism, or how you use supplements, vitamins, and fucking energy drinks. You will not perform better. It doesn't matter what you do. You need to rest and reintegrate the knowledge and information so you digest it and put it out in a better, more focused way. And use your, your abilities at that point like that too. So. What the fuck are you fighting? I mean, this is talking about what we were talking about. Like, you holding on to energy. Some of you need to throw some shit out. I don't know what you're not throwing out. You need to throw it out. You keep arguing with yourself about throwing something out. It's like better things are gonna come if you don't hold on to that old energy that's actually stuffing you up and kinda painful. I don't know why you're not letting go of it. I think it's like having as much resources as you can and not wasting money and not wasting whatever. If it's your favorite old thing, so be it. But I'm talking about stuff that's so old it's trash by now, but you can still use it. And some of y'all never are gonna use it. Others of you might find a use for it at some point, but then you could just also get it from somewhere else or buy it. Or most of the time it's gonna be like leftover reusable stuff that's gonna be given to you for free. So if you recently thought of throwing something out, but you didn't do it, go ahead and do it and find the feeling for it. Like ask your heart and yourself and your mind and your soul, do you really like it, want it, need it? And go off of there. Because every item you can actually click onto that. Like, is this giving me joy and love and happiness? No? Fuck. Well, I'm kind of attached to it, but I should throw it out then. Because it's keeping stuck energy that should be thrown out by now out of your life. It's too old. It's already sucked up some stuff you can't really clear or use, and you shouldn't want to because it's not gonna have a favorable result. I feel like some of you just let go of a pentacle, so that's good. Because if you let go of a pentacle, you get into the Three of Pentacles, which is the three people building or like you know, checking out the cathedral and whatever, and looking at like what they could start doing or rebuilding or refurnishing or redecorating. It's people already collaborating to create something. The Four of Pentacles is you holding on by yourself to something just to have a capital of some sort, just to have some type of structure and or feel like you have resources that you can use or aren't going to go away from you and you can still like have a manageable life from. But is this happy? Does this actually have results? Or are you just staying stuck in a freaking weird pose, being like, I need this? Literally reminds me of Crazy Earl for some reason. And if you've played Borderlands, you know. But like, yeah, I feel like you're fighting away spirit in some ways. Like spirit's trying to lead you, but you're fighting them. Some people have given you bad advice, that's fair enough, but there's also other things that you've been led to that are useful notions of knowledge or good advice. I don't know how you got it from. Maybe it's not from people, maybe it's from videos or something else. Something you don't like is actually good for you, but you're fighting it off with a stick. Ooh. Other things you should stand your ground on, and I feel like you know what it is very strongly, and you should not let down just because of like social politeness or adequacy or so social normalization or appearing more digestible for other people. It's like they got to deal with their stuff. If they were gonna do something great and would have made it by now and been a big success, they would have been that. But instead, they like being the backseat driver and the commentator that never really takes the wheel themselves. And you know who those people are. Jesus Christ, what are you holding on to, bro? You got two cards upright about holding on, and then the Five of Swords about fighting shit off. Excusez-moi, but you need to do some stuff to let something go emotionally and practically and physically. Some of you, it's a breakup you've been over with for a while now, and you still keep holding on to those memories, to those items and gifts, and to those photographs, and you need to delete that shit. You need to clear it out because those people aren't a part of your life for a reason, and it's okay to let things go instead of holding on to them for dear life because that's your life and that's your notion and that's your reality. It's really weird. there's some black spots I've never noticed before, and I don't know. I don't think they were there before, so it's either like a holographic card thing that's happening currently, and it's just making me think of the aging process of like maturing and whatever, and sometimes like you can't keep growing and evolving and maturing while you're holding on to dead shit and or stuff that keeps molding and like literally dying. It needs to go to the grave. It needs to go to the earth. It needs to go away out of your home, out of your body, out of your life, out of you because it's keeping you in that time and you're not the same person anymore. You're not in the same place. You've changed, you're new, you're reborn, you're creating something higher and better and whatever. If you really want solid like roots, better fruits, and a good foundation to go forward and create what you really want to create. You need to give yourself the fertilizer of letting that old stuff go. You need to let it die. You can't just keep it around creating disease because it is creating unease and disease and you're fighting spirit currently. I feel like your guides are trying to negotiate with you like, look, if you let this go, you will get some success over here or this will come in and it's like you're like no mine mine I said no because I'm looking at the four of cups like it's like I said no. Like, why are you so attached? What are you afraid of? What is making you think that you're going to be better off holding on to all of this old stuff? And some of you are about to click off, some of you already did. Don't. Just because I'm challenging you with healthy questions that you can answer for yourself and move on from, doesn't mean I mean you harm or this is an unhealthy conversation that will hold you back. If you're triggered, that's a sign. Why are you triggered? Because I'm saying this with love, and you've already had this pop up. I think this is why this is even more triggering because on some level you've already had things happen in your life. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So why? Ask yourself. There's no danger in going through that process, but for fake safety's purpose or sake, you might want to, for safety's sake, yeah, you want to actually stay there and not go with those questions and figuring this out because it's uncomfortable because you need to admit something to yourself you don't want to. Maybe it's grieving related, if it's letting go of stuff. Maybe it's revisiting old memories. Maybe it's seeing how far you went, like it might still be an uncomfortable experience or process, even though it's good for you and it will push you forward. And I'm just asking, like, rational personal questions anyone and everyone should ask themselves to keep in check where they're at and what's happening with themselves. If you say no, or, the answer is the same, then there we go, you have clarity. If it's something else, then there we go, you have to face yourself and moving through or onward and making some uncomfortable changes that are still gonna be good for you. So. Kudos if you didn't click off because you got discomfort or uncomfortable and now you feel better about it or something. I don't know. Shout out to you. Uh, you need to let go of the items is again coming across. It's keeping you stuck in your house as well as what I'm getting. Like you're not getting out because you keep the same items around, and if you let them go, I don't know how it makes you feel more free to move or like you have less baggage around, but it makes you feel that way. And also, maybe it just gets you out of the house to buy the new version of the same appliance. Like, I feel like I'm being pulled to giving my own example. I have a mechanical keyboard, and I had one since 2021? No, 2020. I think it was actually 2020. And it was a gift and a present, but the sentiment behind it got messed up rotten. And I wanted to keep that keyboard because it finally started having the old clicky sound of Otemu red switches, and it just became more fun to actually type on. And I'm into that type of stuff. I don't know why, but the energy behind it was a lot of like upheaval that I've spent throughout those years while I was gaming and writing, chatting with people, right? Like all of that went into that goddamn keyboard, but it was my first beloved mechanical proper keyboard, gaming keyboard too. And recently I had to get rid of it because of the energy not being nicer, not being healthy for me. Your hands are also portals, so it was kind of like I was gonna more so suck in of that like energy or function off of it instead of having it ground out into the keyboard. It's not gonna like be beneficial to me. But that's just a spiritual notion behind it. Like just psychologically, you understand what the item connects to. Subconsciously, your brain is so capable of like seeing signs and patterns that it just goes by that it would just constantly have that connection or correlation with a specific lifetime and experience that you've had it from like that item when it was gifted to you or when you bought it or what was happening in your life during that time. That's the primary psychological reason of why things should be thrown out, even if they're still functional. So I got rid of it even though I was like, ah, I need a secondary keyboard just in case my current one breaks down or something, right? I kind of am a saver of money. I'm very allocated with my funds. And yeah, I had to throw it out and it was like, oh, that's kind of sad. But I do have a really nice keyboard. I do like, I bought the one I needed to. I bought it before that one broke. And I kind of just went with the vibes and guidance I had, even though I didn't quite like it at first. I didn't appreciate the point of like, why get rid of something that I could still find use for? Like, why can't I keep it as a backup just in case? Why this, why that? And it's like, well, because you used it for work in a job you didn't like, you got it at a certain period of time, and you also were going through a lot of stuff during that time. So if you're gonna keep this item, it's keeping that energy subconsciously or spiritually on an energetic level. So, um, drawn out explanation, but I felt like I needed to add all of that. So, yeah, go ahead and get rid of whatever you need to get rid of because it's time. So, yeah, I think that is everything. Yeah, we done. We good here. Thank you for watching this far, especially if you didn't click off, because I literally felt like some people clicked off of this one, which makes sense because it was triggering. And you know, you kind of got your answer if you were gonna be big or not at the beginning of it. But I appreciate you spending your time, going through the healing process with me and having this message. And I hope to see more of you and I wish you the very best of luck. I'm not reading the cards today. I don't know why. I'm just not reading the cards today. So we're gonna move on to pile number three. Uh, have a good one, and I hope to yeah see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile number three. Um, I'm kind of like I just forgot to take water in between of the last reading and this one. I don't know why I'm mentioning it to you, but I'm kind of like ah. I'll take a sip in a bit, probably, hopefully. But the thing that's coming across with this is like there's so much. One, the one thing that I do need to mention right away is um, you're not going to get big. Like you're not going to be famous or global. But there's good news with that. If you do want to get big or become famous, there's a lot of good vibes and information and energy coming through with this pile and this energy and this card. So we're gonna get to that if you want to hear more details. But some other things that came through is like you might have this experience of becoming well known as a master of what you create. You might. If you want that or you're working towards that, you're still going to get a level of recognition. So the way that I thought about it, and I didn't even see the freaking dragons here before I got that message, but like I was thinking about like taekwondo and like kung fu masters and stuff like that, and they can be amazing and great masters, right? But they just have their dojo, and they are only really well known to be a master by their family, by some of the community, right? Either from if they're living in the Americas, then maybe from like the east that they came from or from a specific community they grew up from. Like they know that they became a master, this individual, but more so they're well known to be a master of their craft only by their students, the dojo, the parents of the students, like it's kind of like that. It's not like they're global and they're well known or whatever, but they're still a fucking master at their craft. So that's what really came through with this card as soon as I hit record or was about to hit record and I channeled a little bit about this. I feel like some of you are sad that you're not going to become global or worldwide known, but it's like this lifetime you're achieving and succeeding and making it in another lifetime. Like this lifetime is one of the most important lifetimes for you to become a global master that is well known and speaks on a stage and educates like many, many people. There's something about the mastery of your craft and how you conduct it, produce it, create it, or teach it or speak it and express yourself and how you feel about it and what you do and what you understand about the epitome of the highlight of the high like level knowledge of the thing you're doing this lifetime. I don't know what it is, if it's a specialty, particularity, or it's a whole fucking subject of something. But you're becoming a master in your own right, and you will embody a global, well-known presence at some point in the future anyway. It just isn't this lifetime. If you don't believe in multiple lifetimes, I don't know what to tell you. Um, maybe you're gonna then I don't like in my view, we have multiple lives, we have multiple experiences. We're not the same person ever again, more or less. You're a different amalgamation that's unique and different every time, but you do reincarnate, and your soul carries on in a way, right? Doesn't matter if you remember your lifetimes to that extent or not, but you might just have a specific particular experience in a different essence going forward, which is just good enough in my opinion, or in my perspective. So yeah. But it is like the thing with the yin yang is what it's telling me is like the come down really provides the rise up. So where you are is necessary for you to achieve the pinnacle of experience that you're really striving for. There's no avoiding it. This is a necessary step of it or on it as a person that has been born with some great amazing talents and gifts, I can tell you like it doesn't just come from genetics or family or whatever it is. You're not just born that way, even if you have a particular inkling, talent, or ethic on how you do things. It comes because you've honed it somehow in past lifetimes, or you had that pull to it all the time. Like you've been obsessive about it from ground zero of your creation, right? Of your being. You can't separate it, and besides that, you constantly keep leaning into it. And you can't force it. You can't force talent. You can't force gifts. You can only you can't even force mastery, right? You got to spend so much time in it. You need to be deliberate and focused and intentional, and you need to like give it your all, or know how to really focus and discipline yourself in certain ways, but in a way that's actually like a labor of love. It's not just giving yourself away and expecting everything to work out and being reckless about it then. Like let's say in sports you can fuck up your body that way and lose everything you were working out to create and you were doing. But if you take your time and you're diligent in it, you eventually get that bod, get that talent, get that understanding, become a teacher of the craft. So you are you are definitely not someone to be like ignored or challenged in what you know or how you know what you know. You're a dragon in your own right, but you're still not really confident in whatever you think you are confident in. You might have a good ego about it, which ego is still like helpful, right? A healthy ego that you have in check, but it's not a core soul truth. And I feel like some of you just got shattered or deflated by that notion. That's good because you understand what I'm talking about and you feel it and you're taking it hopefully in a right way. I don't mean it with any malice. But you're perfecting that. You're coming to that understanding, right? Um, Still, no one can surpass you. I don't feel like there's many people that can challenge you, maybe globally or worldwide or in certain aspects in certain ways. Yeah, sure, but like what you're good at, you are so good at. And it took a lot of time and diligence, and you've achieved so much. And it's like you need to give yourself credit instead of going for the destination. Appreciate the journey because not many could even like go through the journey you went through. You know, humble yourself to understand that you are living a magnificent life and you've lived a magnificent life in a way of like really going far with what you were kind of born with. Maybe not all of you, but most of you, I feel like you were born with this like inkling or attraction or like pull or talent or gift, but you're the one that made it work. Because some people that are born with talent, eventually they're like, nah, I didn't keep up with it. I lost it. Like I'm not really that good at it anymore. I'm not a good musician or painter or anything. I'm just like me. I don't even have the talent anymore, right? But you still have it, and you've made your life about it, and you've made something of yourself with it. It's the thing that's coming across is like I didn't even notice the Buddhas here because it's darker from my perspective, as I'm looking at the card. So looking through a different lens, you might see the value and understanding in achieving like a certain emotional and mental maturity about what you're doing instead of just becoming a master at your craft. Because I think there's something you're missing in how you view yourself, what you think about yourself, and how you feel about the journey and the life you're living and where you're going and what is the deeper meaning or purpose of it. Like if you don't get the grandiose result that you were always hoping you would get, right? Like you're not gonna become an all-star NBA player, but you're gonna do something else great about it. You just don't know what yet. Isn't it still amazing and great? Aren't you still living your dreams in a way? Like, 'cause you are still noticed, you still make an impact on people, you still earn good money, and you're still seen as someone like super duper talented. And maybe you could keep up with someone from the NBA, right? Like on All Stars. Why are you putting yourself down as like a failure or not achieving at your dream then? 'Cause you have achieved your dream. It's just different. It's just way different than what you thought it was gonna be. And there's a lot of super talented people that are like that, but these like the great ones still find a way to make it great with what their passion is, right? The person that I want to reference is Gracie Kramer. I think that's how her name is pronounced. She's a gymnast on YouTube. You can see plenty of her vids. I think she was in Olympics or something, or the USA somethings. I'm not a sports person, but she's awesome. And during COVID, she was like, I don't know what to do because like she was doing gymnastics and teenager years and up till college, and it's like go to college type of stuff now, or I don't know, figure out a different way of doing it because one, it's COVID, two, like she kind of hit her mark in some aspect. Like she's not gonna go on to be a continuous like Olympist about it or whatever, but she was already renowned to be great. And it's like I still want to do this for like my entire life or as far as I can because it's a strenuous physical experience, right? So she figured out during COVID that she's going to become a personal trainer. She created a YouTube around it as well, teaching people, but also showing off amazing freaking skills. And she teaches other upcoming gymnasts that are going to be like national, Olympic, whatever level, like high tier. But also she's teaching people that never had the chance to really become a gymnast of any sort, but always wanted to give it a go and a try, and now are a bit older, but still want to like figure out something about it or have an experience, right? And so she's like a repetitor or whatever you call it in English. Repetitor? No, that's not a word in English, isn't it? A teacher, whatever. To teens and older gals and probably guys. And she is experiencing sports of gymnastics with parkour artists, stunt doubles, like a bunch of different people creating interesting content and showing real cool tricks and flips. And she's in her 30s now, I think. No, my bad. Late 20s? I'm sorry, I don't know her age. Um, well, she's th hoping to do it in her mid to early 30s as well. That she's still keeping up with it, and she could have given up on the whole dream entirely, right? So don't, because like in her words, it's like not many people make it past high school and having anything to do with gymnastics if they're good at it or if they achieve anything. And if you hit Olympic or whatever level, then you're still done after like 22, 24. You're not doing it really all that much. You need to have a particular lifestyle or opportunity to keep doing gymnastics, and she wanted to keep doing it. She didn't want to just teach it. She wanted to keep doing it, to keep doing flips and stunts and tricks and training regimes, and wanted to do it for most of her day and have that as her lifestyle as well as her job. And that's a big ambition. Like most people that want sports to be their lifestyle don't get to do it in the way they thought it to be the case for them, right? And keeping up with it is a personal choice. Are you just going to be a trainer and a teacher? Are you going to actually stay with it and also participate as well? Are you going to have a dojo? Are you going to have like just a side gig? Are you going to keep trying to be an Olympic specialist or whatever it is? Like, what are you going to do with it if it's your passion? So it might not be sports, but they're really coming through quite a bit in this reading. So whatever it is, like keep doing it because you're gonna find your niche. You're gonna find your own place and space with it. You're gonna enjoy it for what it is for you. You're gonna have fun with it. Is this reverse or upright? So we got this Knight of Pentacles. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna have the opportunity to do what you like and what you want to. It is going to be a slow and steady process. You need to give into and believe in and trust your process with and for, as well as like nurture and look after yourself, especially mentally and emotionally. Because if you're gonna stop believing in it, or you're going to start being self-demeaning and negative and mean to yourself and just overall like an ass, you're going to keep yourself away from achieving a life where you could enjoy this, however you're going to enjoy this. Because right now, I think it's really like fighting your inner demons and shadows within your mind and heart. And knowing that you can still live a life with this, like you can still create something, you can still make it be something worthwhile for you that gives you pleasure and joy and happiness. Because I feel like you're one that like breathes this stuff. You breathe it, you live it, you have it. Reverse or upright. Okay, so you need to do some internal realization at work. You can't just force yourself past the blockade or the wall you're hitting currently right now. You need to sit in contemplation. Because the thing is, even how I'm speaking from beginning this reading and how I feel, you're keeping your cool really well, but Jesus Christ, what is up with my shit? Give me a second. It's really funny and interesting. It was just a blip. It was just an energetical blip. And it was just before I was gonna say something quite big, which was funny, because I had to restart this camera, the card camera, But this one just jumped back in after I paused. Um, I can't remember what the fuck I was about to say too, which is annoying because I feel like it was gonna trigger some people too. Meh, meh. Ay. Oh, there we go. The how I was speaking and expressing myself. You were at your wit's end. You keep a calm front. You keep a real good face. You look solid and confident, and you're still going for it and achieving and full of fire and passion, but you're at your wit's end. And the reason you're at your wit's end is because it's you're not meant to feel like the world's against you and you can't make it through and you're falling apart and you're now getting nerved and uneasy and you can't speak on it and express it because then you're actually gonna break the fuck down. I feel like some of you aren't even talking about this, although you have family that would be super compassionate because you're not comfortable, but also because you don't want to feel like a failure. It's not like I felt like I wanted to say be like a failure, which you wouldn't. It's feel like a failure. Because you wouldn't. Everyone has ups and downs. Just because you're going through a tough period doesn't mean you're a failure. It actually means you're going through a tempering. You're being forged, and forging is high temperature shit being hammered over and over again, right? And you become like a beautiful blade or something. I don't know. This is kind of the same. Like, you're only gonna get sharp again after you let yourself go internal, crumble down a bit, and face your feelings. Face your thoughts, face your feelings, face where you are at, how you feel about where you're at, how it's working, not working, what do you want to say and do about it, and where you need to redirect. Because I don't think it's really like meant for you to keep pushing the way you're going to break through. It's meant for you to be like, oh, okay, I need to redirect and do something else because this obstacle is a detour into the right direction. You can't go through a dead end in a maze. You need to turn around and go the other way. And you are going through your own life maze and inside of yourself and in your heart. And I think sometimes you feel like you can't figure it out because, like, what is there? What are the options? Who can make sense of this bullshit? This is how our society is, and this is all that there ever will be. It's like, is it? Like, just because you say that doesn't mean it's true. Like, yet again, I'm gonna reference the same gymnast. She really was like, everyone fails gymnastics after this period, even if you hit national or Olympic level. Like, you gotta call it quits at some point. But, it's now, what, extra 5 years? And she's still doing it. And she's probably gonna do it for an extra five more, and she's gonna make bank money off of it, and she's gonna get global still. Like she's already global. She was already, and now she became a different type of global. So yeah, you aren't necessarily gonna make it global, but you are still gonna be a master that's respected and no one's gonna wanna fuck with. But if you don't go the master class journey, which now you are at the pinnacle of it, it's when it's the toughest, it's the most uncomfortable, you want to give up, you want to turn around, or you want to bust through the forward motion of like what you thought you needed to do, that you're really coming into a new level of like truth and maturity and like finesse and technique and everything else. Like if you don't go through this the way you're meant to, you will miss the point of how this is growing you to be better than before and to be better than who you think you are or who you were meant to be or how you were meant to be. Because there's another level of greatness here that you're just not admitting to, you're not giving yourself credit for, and you're really, really kind of being a bummer about it. It's not a judgment. It's just, like there we go. You just gotta look at it different. You just gotta look at it different. Get some help, either family or others. Maybe find another master of a different craft or whatever. Ask for some advice on other people finding their passions and doing what they were meant to do, how they found themselves doing this thing and they thought they were going to be this or they were going this way and then they became a completely different thing. And it's like, actually, this is cool. This is good enough. This is better than I thought. Because the thing I was going towards, I didn't even see like that wasn't gonna suit me. This wasn't gonna make me happy. I do not appreciate that side of it. And now I'm in a perfect place that is perfectly suited for me. It fits like a glove. Yeah, you will know what decisions to make and where to go and how to not feel like a blind bat once you go inside, once you go inward, once you spend that time of being a bit disgruntled, unhappy, maybe taking a break in general. Like, if you take a week's break, you're not gonna roll over and die. You can actually like come back better than ever instead of like pushing forward and smacking your head against the wall and being like, why isn't this working? Duh, duh, duh. Like you don't smack your head. Go ahead and take a break. Sit down. Get some refreshments. Eat. Talk about it. Vent. Release. Let go. Breathe. I don't know, do something else instead of like kung fu. Go do and some yoga. I don't know, tai chi. Although that is kind of like specific. Anyway, um, I just have opinions because I want to do tai chi, but yeah, you'll be fine. Take a break, relax, and know that this satisfaction is leading you to be way more comfortable, way more supported, way more abundant, like sustainably abundant. Yeah, maybe you aren't, let's say gonna make huge amounts of money, but you're gonna have enough to actually keep doing what you love and find a new appreciation for it. Be in the zone, be in the vibes, be enjoying yourself instead of being, I don't know, concerned with legal matters and showing up in a certain way and being popular and bureaucracy and I don't know company agreements and contracts. You just get to do what you like to do, and no one's ordering you about or whatever. You have clients, enough of them. You get to personally work with them. Let yourself be upset, dissatisfied, feel your feelings, don't get attached to them. Let it go. Let yourself be alone for a bit. Have some conversations, have some relaxation, figure it out, and understand that you're still great and you're still going to live the life that's going to make you happy and feel like you've achieved greatness and like you're living the life you were always meant to be living, but you gotta let yourself respect your own self, your life, your process, your journey, and not just make it about a destination that's not even gonna make you happy. Like if you do this, you will feel better now, type of thing. You will feel like the pressure's off. You're maybe a bit sad, discontent, or a bit upset at some things, but ultimately you're not stressed. You're not stuffed up. You're not clogged up. You're not disconnected. You're not isolating yourself in unhealthy ways. You're not escaping. You're not banging your head against the wall. Like you will be like, okay, breathe. Everything's okay. I'm going a different direction. That's it. Going a different direction, doing the same thing that's gonna make you happy still. So yeah. Anything else, Spirit? This one I'm reading the card for, so that's interesting because the last two I was not reading the card. I guess we're only gonna do it as a calling thing, not as a predetermined like, let me read you your card. Okay, seven, seven, seven. Nothing has gone wrong. An obstacle launches new loving requests. In the last few days, a change came out of the blue. It may have felt like your body and mind moved through a crack in reality, as your life altered course so suddenly. Deep within, you have been craving change, and this situation brings new and different experiences to your life. You may be feeling a little lightheaded and dazzled by the brilliance of this expanded version of you, but you are doing so well. It is now time to catch your breath and settle into your new outlook. This is an opportunity to look at your thoughts, ideas, and your reactions to your new potential success. As you become aware and implement change, you can rise above the limits people or situations have placed upon you. This card depicts the trigram of the I Ching, the Book of Changes, with a yin and yang symbol. This is a reminder that everything changes, that nothing can exist on our physical plane without its opposite, and neither is superior to the other. You can't stop anything that has manifested, but it can serve as an inspiration to create new paths aligned with your soul truth. I mean, I think that kind of spoke for itself, honestly. Journal work, right? Yeah. Draw or write about three things you love about your life. Then draw or write about yourself embracing them. That's really good for you. That's fucking great, honestly. So I think it was like well enough put together for you to also check out meditation and inspire reflections and actions if you want. So you can check that out. Um, Yeah, honestly, everything's okay. Just don't try and be your old version, your old self because you're not that person anymore, I guess. And let the awareness and light come through. I feel like there's going to be four more realizations you need to go through to actually expand and elevate to this new life of living or this new way of being to make it work. I don't know why. Maybe it's like four different sides of you that need to come together for different releases or realizations or four things you try something in fours so the fifth works out. So, and don't get discouraged by that. You're gonna have fun if you go with the experience of it. So, thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. I hope this helps. Appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. Have a beautiful day, and I hope things work out for you. Bye.